Today, I have the pleasure of catching up with Chris Berlet from Stakeholder Gold. How are you today?
I'm well, Tracy. Thank you very much.
Chris, we were talking earlier during Investor Talk about how significant your news was in October and how the audience may not understand it. Can you share this with the Investor News audience?
Yeah, thank you, Tracy. Yeah, there's a couple features of what we're looking at the Ballarat in the middle of the white gold district in the Yukon that are quite compelling. One is the sheer size of the anomaly that we have, 3,200 meters. So it's we're looking at 4x, 5x on the footprint for the original footprint for Golden Saddle, which is about 30 kilometers to the northwest. That's about a million and a half ounces today. So we're looking at a footprint 4 times the strike length of that deposit had in the early stages. So number one is 3,200 meters of anomalous strike length for the gold anomaly that we have in the Skye zone. The other significant feature there is orthogneissic rock type and an absence of arsenic. So arsenic occurs in the Coffee deposit. It occurs in the Arc in south of Golden Saddle, but it does not occur in Golden Saddle, and there are other attributes, grade, superior grade, and also metallurgical recovery that make the economics for Golden Saddle quite compelling. Constrained by size, arguably at 1 million ounces. This though, having the attributes of a very extensive gold anomaly over 3.2 kilometers and an absence of arsenic, lends itself to the potential for a very substantial and economically recoverable gold discovery in the white gold. So I think it's those features have not been clearly identified by the market, but we did the best we could to convey those attributes in the press release.
And for all of you out there preparing for the holidays, this may be the present you were looking for. If I recall, you have one of the tightest structures I've seen in the entire capital markets. How many million shares outstanding?
Yeah, 13.1 at this stage. We're going to keep it to 15 million is our objective through this discovery process. We are expanding our quarries in Brazil. Good cash flow business there. Expanding it 4-fold now in the next 6 months. So that gives us some real comparative advantage and an ability to keep our share capital very tight, constrained capital structure, 15 million shares. So if we go through this process, have what we're talking about, what we think there's a possibility of in terms of a multi-million ounce gold target there on Ballarat, and have it all with a 15 million share count, then we would look for re-rating of the share price. Yeah.
And you were talking about the valuation earlier. Can you share with our audience what you were telling me?
Valuation, they paid $100 per ounce for Coffee. Part of the Coffee deposit, measured, indicated, inferred ounces in total, but the part of the Coffee is constrained by arsenic. Again, we're talking about 3,200 meters of strike length. We're talking 4 or 5x on what has turned into 1 to 1.5 million ounces for the Golden Saddle, which is probably the most relevant comparable for what we're looking at in the Skye zone. That gives us a very substantial target. 300 meters to the west off the road that Newmont's building. This is going to provide some significant logistical advantages to this asset. If we're able to prove this out, we're going to do it as soon as possible in the spring. I would expect a very meaningful re-rating of the valuation.
But of course, you don't have a lot of volume. I'd like to discuss this with everybody watching right now because you don't have a lot of shares outstanding. If someone needs to buy more shares, do they need to contact you directly, Chris?
That's certainly possible at any stage. Of course, anybody that wants to be involved, wants to try and have interest in the company. But there will be a float. I think when we start into this process next year, what's the difference between $1 and $5 a share? I'd say 2 million shares you might see somewhere along the way. And part of the advantage of a tight capital structure is that you can re-rate the share price with meaningful buying. That if there's reasons to re-rate the price, which come from a real discovery, then you can do that. The part of part of the consequence, you might say, of a tight capital structure is less liquidity when there's little activity. But we're generating cash flow from Brazil, so we're not really in the process of issuing shares. We tend to go through this process with 15 million shares outstanding. That's our objective.
Well, of course, you are our top mineral prices expert as well. So we're going to be checking in with you regularly in 2024. So for those of you out there going, this sounds very interesting, we'd like to learn more, we'd like to encourage you to go to the Stakeholder Gold website. But what should shareholders anticipate for 2024? What are you looking at?
Okay, the first 4 months, we're going to be talking about expanding our cash flow in Brazil. It's been a very profitable business from a single quarry. We're now going to add 4 new quarries. And we could generate between $500,000 and $1 million a year from each of those quarries. So a good, robust, profitable operation in Brazil. That's what we'll be doing from January to April. As soon as we can, we're going to be active again on the Ballarat and the white gold. We have the Skye zone there. We have a large copper anomaly and further gold anomalies, but the Skye zone is an immediate target, 3.2 kilometer strike length, no arsenic in the soils, and really a target of merit. So from April on, it will be about what we're doing in the Yukon.
There you go. Gold, Yukon, and Brazil, Stakeholder Gold. For more information, again, go to their website. And Chris, thank you so much for joining us. You're an esteemed colleague, and we appreciate this update. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tracy. Appreciate it. Thank you.